Welcome back to Life is a Vibe. I'm your host, Adriana Ramos, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking about my 2023 vibe. I have titled this episode, Devotion is Greater Than Discipline, and I'm excited to dive in and share a little more about what I am feeling for 2023. If you haven't yet checked out the 2022 recap, that will give you kind of some nice insight as to how we've gotten to this place. So I'm also going to talk about, how can you do your own little intentions for 2023, setting your word for 2023 and everything like that in between. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and start off with a vibe check. I do this every week on my podcast where we are going to come together into this space and take 3 deep breaths together just to align and tap in and spend this time together. So we'll go ahead and close our eyes if you can, and go ahead and take that first inhale in and exhale it back out. Second one in and exhale it back out. Last one in, hold it, release in 3, 2, 1, exhale it back out. Alrighty, well, little life updates over here. It is Tuesday the 10th. I'm recording this on the day that this is getting posted. I hope to not do this again. But I was feeling a little bit cloudy when it came to my 2023 intentions. So I spent some time this morning and now I feel a little bit more clear on them. But I think it's going to take some time. I don't know what it is this year, end of 2022, I really just had no intentions of doing my intentions or doing my vision board before the new year. And I think there's a lot going on astrologically too. Like there's Mercury retrograde. I think Mars retrograde is ending. And then I don't know, we just had a full moon. So there's going to be an Aquarius new moon, which if you still have not done your 2023 goals, your vision board, you could wait to the new moon if you wanted to, is what I'm hearing. But I decided to do it that way. I came onto this episode and had, a little bit more clearer of a vision for you guys. Things have been going pretty well for the first week of 2023 in general, otherwise not having a vision. I know what I want to do this month, and it really is just getting really solid in my routine. So I have been spending a lot of time digging into my routines, trying things out. I feel like we're in a really good spot with my routines, and I've just been doing things, making progress on things. I'm doing marketing, freelancing, and coaching at the same time right now. I have some new clients coming on. I have some offers to launch soon. And we've also been doing some really amazing things for my community. So I have recently launched Be Fulfilled Without Alcohol Discord support group. It's a free community. It is going to be an ongoing Discord community, not just something for January, but I launched it with Dry January. So if you are someone that is wanting to reevaluate your relationship with alcohol, whether it's you want to go sober or you want to have a damp lifestyle type of relationship with it, you are more than welcome to join. I'll have that in the show notes for you below. And this has just been a really great group to have. A bunch of women are doing Dry January for the first time. We do have one male in there. So if you want to join, you are welcome to bring your masculine energy. But yeah, our goal is really just to evaluate our relationships with alcohol, start to notice how we feel without it. In January, it will be 7 months that I've been sober from alcohol, and I honestly think I'm going to continue to the year, and I'm going to keep going. I feel really great without it, so having this community has been super fun. We're also doing virtual sober happy hours, so we'll have another one on Thursday. We're doing every Thursday of January. We're going to do a sober virtual happy hour, so if you want to pop in, feel free to do so. I also this week will be launching a Find Your Vibe Discord community. So for anyone that is interested in the brand or has been a client of mine or is interested in that, it's not like a place where I'm going to be promoting programs and stuff. It really is a place for my community to connect with one another and for me to connect with you guys on a more intimate level. And we have fun sections like doing a vibe check, doing some card pulls, like affirmation card pulls, just offering support. And then of course, you know, whenever new episodes or YouTube videos get posted, sharing that content and also taking requests on content. And hopefully we'll be able to do, you know, some fun kind of calls together where we can connect and whatnot with everyone in the server. So that community is also free. So lots of fun little free offers hopping around right now in my community. And then I do have the January masterclass. It's coming up next week, the 17th and the 18th at 7:30 p.m. Central, I believe. Or did I make it 7 o'clock? I made it 7 o'clock. So forgive me. 17th and 18th, Envision Your 2023. This is going to be a 2-day masterclass where we, number one, envision what your 2023 looks like and put it into a vision board. It's going to be more so talking about the vision board, but we'll do a little bit on like what to include on that vision board. And then the second day is like, okay, here's how you can start to take action on that vision board. So it'll be really fun 2-day masterclass. We'll also be having a Discord channel in the Find Your Vibe server. So we'll be able to talk about things, share things and whatnot from that masterclass, ask questions, stuff like that. So that is what we are looking forward to next week, and also a fun offer also launching next week. So lots of things going on in the coaching business. As for me, I am just moving along. We are vibing, we are rocking and rolling. It's a busy January, but it's okay. I also have some exciting travel plans that I'm not going to like fully share just yet, but Chase booked us a very fun trip for the end of quarter of this year. So it's going to be in March time, but I'm excited to share more about that. So that has me focused. I'm like, all right, we got a big trip. We got a fun trip coming up in March. Like, let's grind until then. So that's how we're really feeling, but I hope you are doing well. I hope you take the time to check in with yourself, and I'm so happy to have you here and am thankful for your support. I hope you are having a good week. And let's wrap up with 3 things you're grateful for. So if you want to say it out loud, think in your head, you know, what are 3 things you're grateful for? For me this week, I wrote it out today somewhere in my journal. I am just grateful for the opportunity to grow. I've been feeling a little bit imposter syndrome, a little bit of self-doubt, but it's all temporary and I can grow from that. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to grow each and every day and to get better each and every day. I'm grateful for this amazing apartment that I'm living in. It is slowly coming together and I just love my apartment so much. It's my little home base that I've created and it's getting really cozy and comfortable here. So I'm grateful for that. And then finally, I'm grateful for Chase for the trip he booked us, and I'm really excited for that. And he is just such a supportive partner, and I had a little like crying moment yesterday, and he just is always so positive and comforting. So I'm very grateful for him. Without further ado, let's then get into today's episode. So I wanted to talk about my 2023 word, but I didn't want to pack this into the 2022 episode. I kind of want to have them be on their own, right? So talking about 2023, I knew the word I wanted to like emphasize. It's more so the goals and the things that I'm like, I don't know what I want to do this year. And I think that's the problem, right? We always think with the new year that we have a long list of things that we need to do, should do, want to do, whatever. It's all focused around this word do, right? And something I've really been playing with was something I learned in a coaching program last year, was this idea of we do the things, then we will have something, then we will be whatever, right? And I actually saw a variation of this in a masterclass last week too, where I think it was like align, or yeah, it was something along those, but it was all A words. I'm not going to derail us from that, but do, have, be, right? And a mentor of mine recently flipped it this time last year, honestly, saying you got to be in order to do, then you will have. So when we look at do, have, be, we think we got to do the things, then we will have whatever we desire, then we will be happy, content, confident, whatever. And so I've really been trying to flip it the other way, right? We have to be the person that does these things, then we will have the desires. So just to give you like an example, I always go to the gym because I feel like that's an easy example, right? When we think that we are going to do the thing of going to the gym, then we will have strength, lowered weight, whatever. Then I will be confident. Then I will be happy. But what if you flip that the other way? What if you already came from a place of being confident or being healthy, being strong? Then you would go to the gym in order to then have that confidence or whatever you are looking for. And so I've been playing with this a little bit more. And even when I wrote my intentions, I started writing it out as all these things to do. And I was like, wait, let's start with the B. Let's start with the B. What does this say about me? And I teach this with habits and routines. Our habits say something about who we are as people. And when we attach our habits to our identity, we are more likely to follow through with it. Same thing with our intentions. When we are attaching a characteristic or a quality or the embodiment of who we are to our intentions, then we are more likely to get through to the have. Because otherwise, you are just going to be doing this long list of things and maybe seeing some progress, but nothing else really changes because you're just kind of focusing on doing the thing as opposed to being focused on becoming the person that does the thing, then has what the end goal has, right? So when kind of evaluating your goals and intentions here, take a look. Is it a very long list of just things you need to do? Because it's fine if it is, but maybe start to think about who am I trying to be that is doing all of those things? Who is that person? Because it's not so far from your current self now. It's more so just embodying some of the characteristics that would do those things. And I also want to take it a step further from that too. When you look at this long list of things to do with your New Year's resolutions and intentions, there's no really back end work, which is weird to say, but there's no subconscious work there when it comes to the beliefs that you have. Say, for example, you wanted to launch a business this year, but you're not doing any of the mental work that is telling you, I can't launch a business this year. If you are not including some of that mindset work, those beliefs that you have, and really working to shift those, again, that long list of to-dos is going to feel very intimidating. It's going to feel very overwhelming, and it's not going to be sustainable at the end of the day. And so in that B phase, that is where you work on your beliefs that allow you to then do the action. So I wasn't really planning on this turning into like a discussion on this, but I think it's great and it's what's coming out. So I'm just rolling with it. So with these beliefs, right? If you have the belief with your characteristics, like I am going to be healthy and go to the gym, that way I can have whatever, my ideal body or a strong body, a healthy body, right? You could be healthy and aim to get a healthy body, right? So you would then have beliefs that you need to work on that says, I am consistent, I am disciplined, I am health focused, I am strong, I am enough. You would have those beliefs that you have to start to work through to start believing. Even if you don't believe it, writing those affirmations every day could really help. That way you have that mentality going into the action, and that way you're then able to execute. Let's do another example that doesn't involve health and fitness. Another example that this could be a common goal that I feel like I always tend to see, I want to save more money, right? I want to save more money. I want to save more money. I want to spend less money, whatever. Let's do something around money. If you are wanting to save money this year, what characteristics does that mean? Like, what characteristics do you need to be in order to save money? You need to be financially conscious. You need to be wealth conscious, rich. You could even think I am rich, right? I wouldn't say frugal because that's kind of in the lack, right? I am abundant. This could also go one of two ways, meaning like I save money and I'm abundant in it. I am grateful. You're grateful for the money you have, so you want to save more of it. Find what that really says about you. I want to save more money, right? What does that say about you, and who do you need to be in order to save more money? Need to be diligent with my budget. Whatever it means to you, create that kind of B word. And then I save more money. And then what do you get by saving more money? You get peace of mind. What do you get with that? What would you have if you save more money? It could also be, I have an emergency fund. I have, a security net if something were to go wrong. Think about what you would then get as a have. So by breaking this down, it just takes it from being an action. Here, we're going to do these things, do. And it gives you how we're going to do it in a way by being. How you're going to do it by just being. And then it also gives you what do you truly want out of this? Because sometimes we're just so focused on what we're doing. And then it's usually then I'll be happy. Then I'll have what? But if you're I want to save money, I feel like the have ups the stakes a little bit more. It gives you more of a purpose with each of your goals. That's just how I'm feeling, and that's just what's coming through for me. Again, with any of this, take what resonates. If you want to keep your long list of goals, that's fine. What I'm saying is just put a little bit more intention behind it and figure out who are you being this year in 2023? What do you want to do? And what is your desire to have by the end of this year? And what are you going to need to shift as mindset work? It all starts with your mind. If you are doing all of these things from a place of not being good enough, feeling like you're lacking something, not being fulfilled, it's just going to generate more frustration. So really coming from a place of I am going to do the best I can. I am enough, and whatever I do this year will be enough. Coming from that place is where you can really create some powerful shifts and powerful movement. So when thinking about my 2023, this word actually came to me from a dear friend, Jane Dakini in a bikini. I was actually on our podcast to talk about sober curiosity. If anyone wants to check that out on her Spiritually Queer podcast. After Fruition, I was really plugged into Jane's social media. I had been following her, but when you go on a trip or something and you tag people or you're DMing someone and then all of a sudden you're getting fed all of their content. That's kind of what happens. And I'm not complaining. I love Jane. She's amazing. She has really shown me so many things since Fruition in October. And she started putting, when she was marketing her next program, this idea of devotion. And something just really spoke to me with this word, and we're going to break it down a little bit more. This word just started really speaking to me. She was like, you don't have to love what you're doing, but are you devoted to what you're doing? You don't have to wake up every day motivated to do it, but are you devoted to what you're doing? And this idea, even today she's posting about devotion. And this is why I have made it my 2023 word, because it feels so much more powerful and impactful. And it reminds me, okay, how devoted am I, to the goals I'm setting, to the values I have, to the routines I'm doing, to my vision? How devoted am I to making this happen? And so let's just read the definition of devotion. LOL, a book or a movie came up. Oh, there's a devotion war movie in 2022. Random. Okay, so devotion. It is a noun, and it means love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person, activity, or cause. This could also be religious worship or observance. This could also be prayers or religious observances, plural devotions. So I really find it that I have been resonating with the love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person, activity, or a cause. AKA, it is mostly myself, which can be selfish. But however, as someone that has this vision that I have, being devoted to myself and my practices first is how I'm going to be able to get this purpose out and get this vision out and help others in the same. As someone that works in the coaching business, this is just how I work, right? I have to serve myself, and then I get to serve all my wonderful humans in my space. I get to pour into myself, learn things myself, and share that wisdom with others as well. And this has snapped me back into some sort of shape. And that is why this episode is also called Devotion is Greater Than Discipline. Because as you saw from that definition, it is all about love. And when this realization was coming through, it was like my whole access like leveled out, you know, like if you think about like your internal access in the world, right? There's sometimes these shifts or awakenings or whatever where your world feels like this until you realize something and it's like, whoop, and you're back at like equilibrium of some sort. So if you listen to my 2022 episode, you know that I come from a past of hating myself, feeling like I wasn't good enough, being overly perfection type person. And even when doing that, I think I'm not trying to self-diagnose myself, but I think I had a form of high functioning anxiety because to everyone else, I was performing. I was getting straight A's. I was doing all of the things. I was involved in all of the things. Even from 2017 to 2020, when I was working a 9-to-5, I was doing content creation on the side. Like I was doing all the things. So to everyone else, I was very high functioning. On the flip side, if you read my journals, I was very hard on myself. If one thing went wrong, the whole day was bad. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I didn't fully love myself. I was getting in relationships that were just validation relationships and was just validating me, making me feel like I was good enough. And so from 2020, when I went through a really bad breakup until now, it really has been knowing that I am good enough, knowing that I do love myself. And like, we even did an exercise in Jane's meditation mastery, which was towards the end of 2022. And in this meditation, we had to picture ourselves in front of us and like, what did we do when they were in front of us? And like, I had this whole moment with myself of like a fist bump, like, I got you, girl, I love you. And back then, that was not the case. Back then, it would have been like this awkward hug, you know, like, this feels weird. But now it's like me and myself, we got each other. We are good, you know? And that is where this devotion comes from, that I am now rooted in love. So everything I do is out of love. And no matter what action I take, it is from a place of love and not a place from hate. And I'm not saying that discipline comes from hate. However, it does have this very masculine feeling and it has this very tough edge. You have to be disciplined. You got to be disciplined. Like, I feel like I see like a big gym guy, you know, being like, you have to be disciplined to go to the gym. And that's not a bad thing. However, for me, my devotion comes from a place of love. It also is rooted in feminine, right? It is rooted in a place of feminine that can also get me through to the masculine, which really is knowing when it's time to push and knowing when it's time to rest. And this can be tapped into a monthly cycle. We as women, we have a monthly cycle. The first 2 weeks of your cycle after your period, you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel so good. This is a time to push. This is a time to put creative ideas out. It's a time to do all of these things. Then when it's time for your cycle to come around, when you're PMSing and when your period is about to come, it's a time of rest. It's a time to reset. It's a time to reflect. So all of this is like a web connected, right? If you look at devotion, you're looking at like the feminine, you're looking at love, you're looking at embracing it. And like, yes, I can still be go, go, go and get to that disciplined masculine kind of energy, but you start through the devotion to then create the discipline in a way. I hope this is making sense. If it is, feel free to share on your Instagram story or DM me on Instagram, whatever. But this is why I have coined 2023 as a year of devotion, because last year was a year of power. The year before was a year of abundance. Devotion is now that I love myself and I am in this place, like it is time for me to be seen, and it's time for me to do these things that feel really good and supportive for me, and to forget about everything else, you know. Like as long as I continue to be devoted, I can do anything I put my mind to this year. And I think that is why I also was kind of like, I set the word for the year. I don't need to set intentions. Like as long as I'm devoted, I can make whatever happen. Like I think that is why I was feeling a little bit of that cloudiness in setting intentions. But now that I have the word, things are becoming more and more clear. We are feeling very empowered and excited. So that is the 2023 vibe when it comes to my word for the year. If you are struggling on a word for the year, maybe take some space and really allow yourself to be open and think about, what do you want this year to mean to you? Who do you want to be this year? What word feels like a good embodiment for your year? You can also think of a phrase. If a single word feels like, you could always think of a phrase. I also have a motto for this year, and it is, I can't is no longer in my vocabulary. When it comes to doing certain things, when it comes to like, oh, I can't tonight, like setting a boundary, that's a different phrase. Like that would be like, I don't have the energy, or I'm not in alignment to go out, or whatever, right? But when it comes to things that are really meant for me, I can't is no longer in my vocabulary. We are no longer here for that. So if you want to think of a phrase too, that could also be helpful. As for some intentions, some goals, right? I did do some journaling. I got this Alexis Raccoon planner. I read some of the 2022 stuff, and then I finally was like, okay, let's think about 2023. So as you can see, she did have a word, quote, and or affirmation if you're watching on YouTube. And I put devotion, can't is no longer in my vocabulary. I got a 12 card tarot reading for my year, and the energy for my year, the card was High Priestess energy. I also am aiming to do more creating rather than consumption, which I'm doing a great job at so far this year. I'm proud of myself for that. I did pull an affirmation, and it said, the love within me is more powerful than doubt or fear, which I just thought, spot on. And then what else do we have here? So feelings, belief, and emotions to embody practice. I said I'm devoted. I am rooted in the present. I am doing the best I can. I am patient with myself. I am loving towards myself. My top 3 values to live by this year, I want to be rooted in presence, and also rooted in devotion and patience. Patience was really coming through because I used to be very impatient with things. So I think patience is also an interesting kind of thing to focus on this year, which I was surprised to see that word come through, but I was really excited to write that down. We're not wasting any energy or time about this anymore, what others are doing, if I'm doing the right thing, deadlines I set for myself, being unkind to myself. I'm also currently learning human design, and there's a specific part in the chart that has told me I am a non-specific manifester, which means I don't need to worry about the specifics or details or have an action plan, which is like, I have been living my whole life doing an action plan. So I think that's also where I've been trying to like give some leniency as to the goals I set. So my goals are very like non-specific, but it's okay because things are just going to happen as long as I'm devoted in doing the thing. Things worthy of my precious energy of time, having fun. I want to have fun this year. I want to have joy, experimenting, my routines, fitness, business, being with others, doing new things, community. Community is a big one this year. Some intentions, manifestations, and desires. I want to be a devoted coach and just have fun in my business. And experiment with different offers and things this year. So I'm also diving into human design and really want to bring that into my business. I want to be more of a leader in this coaching space, which means hosting some in-person events and retreats. So stay tuned for that. I want to be prideful in my home. So continue to create a very vibey home. I'm excited for getting like a bed and getting my living room together. So that's definitely some goals I have there. I want to be wealth conscious. So I've been able to work for myself the past 2 years. And yes, I've been able to like keep this going. But now it's like, okay, how do I create some long lasting wealth for myself? And I also have some like longer term goals that I want to surprise my parents with. So I said be curious and fearless, meaning trying new things, travel to new places, also being seen, right? Doing things that put me out there and being seen in different ways. There's a fun intention that I'm going to keep to myself for that one. And also like expansion, right? There's other things I want to get my coaching business into. I don't think I'm going to be able to expand in the full ways I want to, but I want to make progress in setting down some goals and ideas for the ideas that I have, if that makes sense. Of course, be devoted to my practices, my vision, my body, be tapped into my feminine and find balance with the masculine, doing this through cycle syncing, also just taking care of my body in general. And then to end, be kinder to myself, be patient with myself. I just have 10 intentions and like from those can branch off some other things. So I'm probably going to build that out in like a Notion or something. I did get a free Notion template of this girl's 2023 goals and I kind of like it, but I want to make some tweaks. So I've been really getting into Notion. So maybe even doing some Notion templates for you guys could be really fun. 6 things I'll do more often this year: clean, read, wealth learning, offers in my business. I put walking. I have a goal to get like 8 to 10,000 steps a day. So that's going to require a lot more walking. I do want to get a walking pad, which could be fun. And doing more new things. And that is basically it. We talk a little bit about routines and stuff, which my routines are, we're going to cover in another podcast episode and YouTube video. So that is a little bit of how I am feeling for the 2020 vibe, the 2020 or 2020, the 2023 vibe, the 2023 energy. That is a lot of syllables. 2023, 5, 2020. That was 4. Okay. 1 extra syllable, but it feels like a tongue twister. So if you are struggling when it comes to your intentions and your goals and setting that for 2023, it is okay. You are not lost, right? You could do like your main kind of intentions for the year. Who do you want to be this year? And then you could also just go month to month, checking in. At the end of the month, what I do with my clients, we always check in and see what went well, what could have gone better, and set goals for the next year. Or for the next month. If you really want to take more of that, like, what is that word? If you want to take more of that, not integral. Oh my gosh, not implementing. Oh my God, I always say this where it's like you take little tiny increments. There we go. You could take an incremental approach to building your year. I saw a girl on TikTok talk about like create your year, right? And you theme every month a word. So maybe we'll do that with the last episode of January, just so you can see what you can do for yourself as like a monthly reset, or I'll make it a YouTube video too. We'll see how that feels, but I always work with my clients to like create a focus word for the month, and then we set our intentions for the month. So if you want to do more of an incremental approach for your 2023, by all means do that. If that feels good and more supportive than like planning your whole year out. Like for me, I am doing a yearly view. So I did my yearly view. Then I'm also doing a quarterly view. And then from there, a monthly view. So quarterly is more so for the business, not necessarily like my personal development goals, but I just have like a quarterly idea of like what I'm doing in my business. And then going month to month when it comes like my actual personal goals and everything. Just pulled an affirmation for the week. Let's also pull a note from your higher self for the week. Okay. Your affirmation for this week. I am valuable. Many people are thankful for my presence in their lives. I am valuable. Many people are thankful for my presence in their lives. If you're seeing on YouTube, beautiful like brown orange butterfly we got. And then a note from your higher self. Give yourself credit this week. You've come pretty far. Give yourself credit. You've come pretty far. Bada bing, bada boom. That is this week's episode of Life is a Vibe. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. If you can rate us on Spotify, give a review on Apple Podcasts. I would so greatly appreciate it. I love having all of you guys here with me. You can also subscribe and watch the video format on YouTube. You could also watch the video format on Spotify, which is pretty dope too. But yeah, feel free to share this episode if you liked it on your Instagram stories and whatnot. Or you can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the things at Adriana Simona. I love you guys, and I hope you have a very vibey week and a very good week. And I will see you guys in the next one. And don't forget that life is a vibe. Alrighty, bye.